All right, ladies and gentlemen, Christopher Greene, boys and girls, brothers and sisters, stay focused. Stay focused because there is a very big plan in the coming months to divide the American public further and to label you in very specific groups to divide you, to create more division, to create, in my opinion, more chaos, in my opinion, create more unrest as they lead up into the midterms and, of course, the 2024 election. These are distractions, and you need to be aware of it. So you need to maintain yourself on point, getting ready for the economic, financial collapse and also social collapse of the United States of America. So what do I mean by this? I was watching a podcast yesterday with Ye and Kanye West, formerly Kanye West. Very interesting. However, I'd warn you, there's a lot of profanity, so I wouldn't recommend it, but I watched it from the standpoint to understand the social commentary of what's coming and how they're going to be labeling and grouping people in particular groups as a part of their narrative and agenda moving forward here in the United States of America. It's important to understand that God is love, ladies and gentlemen. So anyone that's promoting division, okay, or promoting labeling or putting you in particular groups, right versus left, notice how they always call the conservative group the right wingers. That's what they say. It has a very negative connotation. And this is how they're grouping and labeling Christians, conservatives, libertarians. They want the general public to think that you're all these terms that we can't really talk about. Now, of course, Kanye West was in the news, and he's been in the news recently. In fact, he just bought Parler, or that deal should be closed by the end of the year. And the reason why they're doing this is they're going to offshoot and further label, this is called gatekeeping, people that are conservatives, quote unquote right wingers, people that are Christians. So the blue team can say, this is why these people aren't allowed to speak freely. This is why these people aren't allowed to use the main highway. This is why these certain people are censored, because of these bad apples, okay? And they'll point people out like Ye, they'll point people out like Donald Trump. Again, the way that you know if something is evil or not, if it doesn't come from a place of love, okay? Because God is love. If it comes from a place of division, and more importantly, there's no solutions offered, that's how you know you're being distracted. There's a lot of people that people are following right now, online, in the media, on podcasts, etc., and all they do is divide. And you know who these people are. They don't offer a solution. They don't try to improve America. They don't even try to improve themselves. What they do is they suck you in, they draw you in, and they offer nothing in return. They don't offer hope. They don't offer love. They don't offer an alternative, a real one, and they don't offer a solution. I mean, these are the things that are actually important to me, because my personal goals, not just my business goals in life, are to improve the world and improve our community and improve AMTV and provide people with hope and solutions and alternatives. This is why I built Island Project, for example, because it's an actual solution to the problem. Rebuilding America and Americana outside of the system. It's basically saying, hey, the current system doesn't work, so we don't need you anymore. We'll build our own. Just like the original American patriots and the Paul Reveres and the founding fathers, they didn't need a government. They didn't need a king. They wanted to get away from that and centralized power. And so they built something new. And see, that's what we're doing. We're providing a solution. I'm not just telling you how bad things are, and I'm not helping to promote the division or the divisive culture, which is what we're seeing right now in the world. One thing Ye is right about, however, is he talks about how the United States is being very specifically influenced by China. Of course, this has been going on for years. Most of big tech is married into China. Okay, for example, all of big tech has helped develop the same systems of control and social controls in China and built their entire internet on behalf of the Chinese government and the permanent leader, Mr. XI. So there's truth, and again, you need to understand this. There's truth to what these people are saying. That's the very definition of gatekeeping. They bring you in with some truth, but then distract you, so you're not getting prepared. So for example, how does divisive politics help you prepare for an economic collapse? How does this social commentary and labeling certain groups, and by the way, the video in the recent interview is fully monetized in public on the social platforms right now that Ye just gave. That tells you everything that you need to know. I can't even say the word that I want to say about the groups that Ye is labeling. And there's Fortune 100 commercials being monetized on that 3-hour interview of the podcast that he just did. That tells you exactly what you need to know. So how does this help any of you guys tuning in when we're living through a dollar collapse, when we're living through social chaos and social unrest and the labeling and the targeting of groups of people? It doesn't. So let's get into specifics on actually how you can help yourself today, because of course the economic financial collapse here in the United States and the end of the petrodollar is all planned. It's very easy to see. It was easy to see this in the early days of Bitcoin, which is why I invested in it, because I understood where it came from. I understood it was an open source technology, that it was also likely a petri dish of DARPA that then went open source. And so I was smart enough to get in under 1,000. Just like the pre-internet and the internet days, you could see that the internet, of course, was a DARPA creation. And then it led to the privatization of many rogue companies that turned into the large, consolidated pool of tech that we have today. Same thing in some of these areas. There's a reason why I'm bringing you guys this direction, because you need to understand what's next. Many people just look at things at face value. So for example, if I talk to the average individual, even on the street, that maybe doesn't know me or what I do, they'll tell me things like, oh yeah, the dollar is going to collapse. They're getting rid of our currency. There's all this inflation, it's going to get worse. And I'll nod my head, yeah, But see, what they don't see is they're not going to allow the dollar to collapse. What they're going to do is reset the system into a new digitization and a new digital currency. They're not going to allow their power to collapse. They're going to transfer it into a new power structure. So everybody holding on to kind of these archaic beliefs as if the central bank is just going to, completely allow fiat to end is wrong. No, what they're going to do is change the rules and change the system. And in the process of that, liquidate and bankrupt pretty much every American, currently in America and in the westernized world. That's what they're going to do. It's a wealth transfer. It's a changing of the rules. It's the central bank and those in charge basically saying this isn't the system anymore. We're just going to move you into a new one. Just like in 2008-09, they broke the rules of capitalism. They said, well, normally we let businesses fail, but because these businesses are the billionaires and we're actually the billionaires, we're going to change the rules for ourselves and bail ourselves out so we can survive. We saw this in recent years, of course, with the essentials and non-essentials. See, there's nothing fair about how the current system works. There's nothing democratic about the United States at all. There's nothing free about free speech in the United States either, which is why they're intentionally gatekeeping and offshooting and using celebrities and politicians to draw the crowd and to co-opt people that aren't smart enough to see the real truth. See, I'm telling you guys to be smart enough and then operate outside of the system and build your new system. Okay, again, how does it help you if the dollar fiat is going to collapse and liquidate your wealth capital? It doesn't. What you need to do is create capital. This is why I tell you guys things like create cash flow, start new businesses, grow with like minds, form tokenized communities like the Island Project and more, invest in real assets and get out of the banks. See, those are actual solutions to wealth, your happiness, starting a business, finding joy, building communities, creating new infrastructure. Now, again, who's gatekeeping and leading people to darkness and evil when they don't provide a solution, when all it is divisive politics. See, that's what they want. They want to label you and they want to throw you into a group. They want to say, well, every conservative and Republican, they're not moderate. They're way over here. Just like Ye was targeting a very specific group of people, they want the public psyche, and especially the blue team, which is controlled by the media and, essentially big tech, to weaponize and think that all these people over here aren't moderates. They don't come from a position of love. They're attacking certain groups. So all of this is about division. The Trump vacuum, very much about division. And I'm not even saying that there's not some things that I don't agree with regarding, the politics on that side. But I'm just saying, and there's a lot that I disagree with. But these are vacuums to control people. They don't offer solutions. They don't rebuild America. They don't improve your freedom prospects. They don't take back your power in any regard. All it does is subjugate you further. So for example, Ye buying Parler, what does that do? It offshoots okay, that entire group into smaller, unnoticeable platforms, and then removes your free speech on the main highways, essentially sending you to the same projects and ghettos, okay, that all people of every race, creed, color, and religion have been fighting against, so that we could all be equalized and free, no matter the color of our skin, our religion, where we come from, or even, our political beliefs and these kinds of things. This is another way of systematic control. Okay, this is why certain people are allowed to talk like Ye and others aren't. Okay, so for example, you could put out a video right now and say the same thing that Ye just said, okay, which is being publicly broadcasted with millions of views right now on big tech, and they wouldn't allow it, but they're allowing him to speak. Why? Notice, and I'm not saying it's all bad, and this is not an attack on Ye. I actually think Ye is smart. I think he's arguably, as many people would say, he's almost on the genius level of things. Okay, if there's anyone playing 5D chess, it's not Trump, it's probably Ye. He's really, really smart. He's a billionaire, and he's actually, putting out a lot of information and truth that I think people should, think about with a critical eye. I'm not saying I agree with everything, because I don't. Okay, but my point is he's allowed to speak. Notice he's even co-opting things like God and those topics as well, while he drops F-bombs and total profanity through the entire episode, misrepresenting and mischaracterizing, in my humble opinion. Not that anyone's perfect, and God uses imperfect vessels. Maybe he's using Ye, just like maybe he uses me, another imperfect vessel. But the point is, it misrepresents that entire group. It says all these people, all these conservatives are like Ye. They say they're Christian, but then here they're attacking certain groups that you're not allowed to talk about. And then in addition to that, look at how they use profanity and talk about all this trashy culture and all this kind of stuff. So they want to make it appear that conservatives and liberals, that there's no one in the middle, that everyone's at extremes, which is what they want. Again, if you want to destroy a nation state, you do exactly what you're doing now. You divide the public on both sides of the equation into very extraneous and extreme groups, okay, and you have them fight each other while the king and the rulers get rich and laugh and throw the peasants breadcrumbs. And that's what's happening. So all the elites, all the billionaires, even Elon Musk, etc., who's buying Twitter, etc., to save free speech. I mean, these are really just the people laughing. Like, for example, the net worth of the top 0.001% skyrocketed in recent years. It was the largest wealth transfer in world history. Corporate profits from Fortune 100 have never been higher, while the American middle class and the general population goes into destitution. As hyperinflation becomes permanent, and they're now saying it's not transitory because they were lying before, but there's now hyperinflation. So you're paying more for food, you're paying more for gas, they're moving you to an energy transition that they had planned, they're admitting they're modifying and manipulating the weather, which they originally said was a conspiracy theory, which is now truth. They're allowing China to infiltrate the country. XI, of course, cementing his permanent leadership with another consecutive term 5-year rule, which will be a lifetime rule. Okay, and he's saying things like he's going to take Taiwan by force. He completely disregards the United States. Joe Biden, Saudi Arabia is wiping their hands clean of us, cutting 2 million barrels a day of oil, and basically saying the U.S. is a bunch of losers. We want nothing to do with you again. So again, this power structure, this vacuum that's currently occurring, I want you to think about what's going to happen next. If you're getting caught up into the emotional media game of all this, you're going to lose. You're going to be bankrupt. You will not be better off. You're going to lose everything. You're going to be a lot less free, okay? And you're going to be on the dole of what they have planned for you next after the wealth transfer. Universal basic income, total destitution and socialism to the state. And this is why they're creating a new third party. I don't know if you're aware of this. This is why Tulsi Gabbard removed herself from the Democratic Blue Party. She's not to be trusted either. They're forming a third new party. This is the new Socialist UBI Party of the United States of America. After the wealth transfer is complete, we're almost there, okay? And after they reset this system, they don't allow fiat to collapse. They transfer fiat into digital fiat. See, this is why if you're not invested in crypto and you're not at my school and you're not an island project, you're going to lose. Everything I tell you guys about are solutions to the problem that will actually empower you moving forward. Again, if you want to build yourself up in the reset and All right, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like I'm back there. Kind of lost my train of thought. The camera got too hot, so it stopped, and I had to reboot and reset. So the point is, all of this is planned by design. This whole economic, financial reset, and more importantly, the constructed division that they're creating on both parties within the system is how they win. So if you're falling into these groups, okay, and you're allowing yourself to be labeled, you're a right winger, or you're on the blue team, or you're on the red team, in the next few months, your life's going to get much worse. You're not solving any of your problems. You're not getting ahead. You're not preventing the wealth transfer from occurring. You're falling right into the hands of the king. And I'm telling you guys this, they're laughing. Okay, the elites are laughing. Okay, the best thing that could have ever happened over the last couple of years was exactly what happened. All of these social controls, economic controls, financial controls, and governmental controls, this has never been better. This is a consolidation of power for those in charge. So again, if we look at this geopolitically here for a moment, which I've been reporting over the weekend, of course China is showing its brute force strength right now. Of course China has infiltrated into the West. Of course big tech has helped develop their Orwellian internet. This is also why they set up manufacturing and transported all the jobs and the real wealth from the United States of America into China, because that was the goal. The goal was to bankrupt the United States and enrich the East, make China rich for the ultimate domination, where they would take charge and be the new globalized world leader, which is exactly what's happened. So keep in mind, it was actually the United States and the politicians here in Washington, D.C. that have helped this transition. They're the ones that sold the United States out to China to help fund the Belt and Road Initiative and their dominant and supreme power. This is what built the largest naval fleet in the world. This is what's built all this technology. In fact, it's kind of interesting. China has an artificial sun. I don't know if you've read about this, but it's 5 times, allegedly, the heat of our actual sun. So they're creating these new fusion reactors. All of this was funded by the West. This is the point. The United States and the political power and the system in the US funded this by setting up manufacturing with cheap labor and selling out America jobs overseas so China could get to this point where they're basically all powerful. And so this 5-year meeting of Congress that just took place was also very, very significant, because XI basically said he will use force. China will overtake the West. Okay, this is a part of their now multi-generational reign and reconfiguring of the world. This is why they've been expanding with their Belt and Road Initiative and building all these inroads and transportation systems and new technologies over the years. This is why they've been strengthening their ties with the BRICS nations. Okay, they are the new power structure. And we see this clearly every single day. So again, Americans at this point are just getting distracted. This is why I'm telling you guys to be focused. Americans, they want a solution, but they don't know what the solution is. The solution's you. Okay, just like the solution to getting away from the British crown was the establishment of 13 colonies and declaring independence and actually putting in the work yourself. That's the same solution today. So Ye's not going to save you. Trump's not going to save you. A new third party isn't going to save you. No, that's what they want. The whole goal, okay, is to create more division, create more distraction for control. So before I get a little too distracted here, because I had to move because of the camera situation, I want you guys to understand that, this is just a very convenient narrative that they're selling. So again, everything that I've told you is going to happen in recent years is incredibly on point. This is a reset of the system. So is the fiat dollar going to be allowed to collapse by the elites? You think they're just going to allow themselves to collapse? No, they're going to take your wealth and they're going to move it into the new fiat digital system. Okay, so this is why if you're not properly diversified and you're not out of the banking system before capital controls and this mass liquidation continues, your only option will be UBI and universal basic income. This is what they want. They want to stratify America, okay, and remove much of the capitalist nature and the free nature that we once were. And the only reason they've been allowed to do that is because Americans have sold themselves out. They don't have communities anymore. This is why I built one called the Island Project. They don't have real wealth. This is why I teach you guys how to build real wealth. They've destroyed the family because they don't want a strong family. They don't want a strong community. You know, a lot of these topics that Ye's talking about, there's truth in them. Again, it's not a personal attack. He's very smart. He's very interesting. But what's the solution? What, a new 2024 hat? And notice he'll never talk about that one topic that we're not allowed to talk about, right? The one topic that happened over the last couple of years, he never mentions it. That's how you also know it's gatekeeping. Not to mention they allow it to be all over the internet. And they're monetizing it, and they're running advertisements over all of it. It tells you that they want that narrative out there. Again, they want to make it appear through the falsehood that, let's get back to the topic of love, that there's no middle of the road conservatives. They want you all labeled as right-wingers that are on the extreme. They'll point to things, well, this is why we don't have free speech in America, is because of that guy, Ye, or because of Trump. So they can blame these gatekeepers for the removal of you good people out there and the good people of America so that you don't have freedom. And this is why even the purchase of Parler, I would argue, is just a ghetto that Ye purchased. That is the projects that he's warning everybody about and saying, well, we're not good enough to be on the public inroad highways. Come over to this ghetto that I just bought for a couple $1 million. Well, I don't believe in any of that at all. I think everybody should be allowed on the real highway. Isn't that the whole point of civil rights and freedom? That you're not offshooted to a separate drinking fountain, Ye? That you're actually free enough to be on the main highways, to have the same rights, to have the same freedom, to have the same banking relationships that aren't cut off by JP Morgan Chase, and the same truth and freedom to speak your truth. So, I don't know, this is how I see it. And again, I'm just telling you, I'm a master propagandist, guys. I'm a propagandist for truth. I've been doing this for a very, very long time. I didn't just pop up on the internet in the recent year. Okay, I was one of the first people ever to get onto all the social tech, okay, and understand how it was going to change the whole world. Just like Malcolm X said, that the media is the most powerful entity on earth. They tell you you're free until you get too big and you have too much influence, and then they do what they're doing now. They offshoot Ye to a ghetto, okay? They force him to buy Parler. The projects, it's like, the projects in Chicago or something. They're not going to allow him to be on Twitter, even though Musk is buying it. It's just funny. Like even Donut, as we were discussing, was talking about it, which he's right about. It's just funny how people think the richest people on the planet are somehow your friend. Like Elon Musk, he's a man of the people. He's the richest guy on the planet, but he's serving the people. Like you're out of your mind. The whole discussion of the elites and the power structure, the first thing you go to is who has the most money. And that'll tell you who's in charge and who's really wearing the pants. And by the way, Musk isn't the richest person on the planet. There's a lot of people above him. So again, this is pervasive evil. This is what you need to understand. This world, and Ye also said this, he says God's in charge of this world. Well, God's omniscient and he's omnipresent and he's all-knowing, but God's not in charge of this world. Satan is. Who do you think's in charge? Satan. Satan runs the music industry, Ye. Satan runs Hollywood. Satan runs the political empire. Satan's in charge of all this. He's putting very evil people in power for a reason. This is a part of his plan. This is the fallen world to bring more people to Christ. Just like I told you guys about, we talked about in Romans a couple episodes ago on one of the sermons I delivered on why you should pay your taxes, even if it's to an evil empire. And if you look at the historical context of Nero and the ruler of the Roman Empire, it was clear that, number one, Jesus paid his taxes and Christians should pay their taxes, even if it's to evil governments. And Nero, for example, he used to throw parties and burn Christians at the stake as his lighting system. That's how evil he was. So Ye's wrong about that too, as he drops F-bombs and cusses through the whole broadcast and pigeonholes conservatives and Christians like we're psychos or something. That's not true at all. See, the real truth is people like me, people like you tuning in, we actually come from a place of love. We want America a lot better than it currently is, and we're not extreme. We just believe in freedom. We believe in free speech. We're not targeting specific groups. We're not defending, a lot of the controversy that they're pushing in the media. That's what the media wants. This is a part of their systemized control of the minds and hearts of the masses. And just keep in mind, social media is mainstream now. So nothing you're getting is alternative. What you're getting now is a very controlled vacuum of the information they want you to hear. All the algorithms were rebuilt and restructured right when Trump was elected. Okay, I saw this through my own analytics. Again, I've been doing this 15, 16 years. All the analytics changed. Videos will not come up in the recommended feeds anymore because they changed the algos. Okay, so everything is controlled at this point. Look at Alex Jones. They put a judgment of $1 billion on him. They're just doing that to make a statement. Okay, and notice he's not serving any time in the clinker because, again, all of this is a part of the control grid. All this is part of the control system. Like if they wanted to take him out, they would just take him out, right? Isn't that what he says? Same thing with Ye. No, they allow these people to exist. They make an example of them. They don't throw him in the clinker. Okay, they just come out with this fine to make him an example. The $1 billion fine. Like what is that even? So again, I'm not saying that some of these people aren't shedding light on truth because they are. But the question that I'm battling with you today and the challenge that I'm offering to you is, well, what's their solution? Because the solution in terms of what they're doing is just causing more problems, causing more division. Candace Owens, right, who wore the shirt with Ye, White Lives Matter, okay? And I believe all lives matter, in my opinion. But doesn't matter what color or religion you are. How does that help again? It doesn't. It just creates more division. See, it's within the two-party paradigm of controls. This is a part of the control system. Candace Owens' husband is also the new CEO of Parler. All these people are working together, okay? Whether or not it's Ye, Candace Owens, Jones, Trump, notice they're all in the same box. They're all working together. And what are they doing? Dividing everyone. They don't offer solutions. It doesn't rebuild America. It doesn't prevent the economic, financial, hyperinflationary collapse. It doesn't make you happier, wealthier, more joyful. It doesn't promote love. It promotes division, anger, and all the things that tells us in the Bible that we don't represent. And then also, in addition to that, it stereotypes you as a psycho on one end of the spectrum. It could be on the blue team or the red team, which is what they want. Again, the elites laugh in your face, okay? I mean, they're laughing at the groundlings right now. They're laughing at the paupers. They've got you in the palm of your hand, in their hand. I'm just telling you guys to be smart. So let's talk about what's coming. Of course, the market's pumping today. We're up about 500-600 points. Very predictable. Again, this is a hyperinflationary collapse. The inflation's not going to stop. This is an energy crisis that they've manufactured to transfer you into the new system. This is why you're seeing a lot of people on the left right now pour milk out in grocery stores and paint over art and oil paintings. They're building this narrative for more social controls, okay, for the carbon tax credits and the social credit scores and all the things that we've been warning about. This is what they want, okay? They want to move you down and tiptoe you in lockstep to these new systems of control. But again, unless you're smart enough to actually prepare and get outside of the system, like again, was it smart to buy Bitcoin under 1,000? Yeah, absolutely. You'd be rich now. That's why I told you to buy it. Is it smart to buy into the Island Project? Absolutely. You'll be rich, in my opinion, in the coming years because you got in. It's smart to do these things now. Is it smart to get out of the bank? Absolutely, because they're going to institute capital controls and restrictions on your wealth, and they're not going to allow you to move it. So absolutely, is it smart to learn about blockchain? Absolutely. It's the new internet. That's how you're going to get rich. It's not about just money, but it's about tools, okay? And even in terms of your own joy and happiness, you've got to get out and break free of this matrix. See, I believe that these people are just promoting the matrix even more. They're not helping you disengage and truly see light and truly see truth. Like again, what is Ye's solution to the free speech issue? He's going to buy a ghetto in the name of Parler. He's going to go to the projects instead of fight for his right to be on the main platforms. He shouldn't buy anything. He should mobilize all the people that believe in him to fight peacefully, of course, as is his right and all Americans' rights, which is the First Amendment, to be on the main highways, not offshoots. No, to be on the main ones. I don't want to be in a ghetto somewhere, okay? I want to be on the main ones. You see what I'm saying? Where there's actually influence and power. That's the truth. So anyways, very interesting interview and social commentary that, again, they're allowing to put out there. They're not stopping it out being put out there. You can go on the main socials right now and watch the interview and watch infinite F-bombs and him talking about a very specific group that I can't even mention, and it's all fully monetized and fully public. That's all you need to know. And just like Jones, they allow him to exist. They don't throw him in the clinker. Even Steve Bannon, okay, is a really smart guy. I'll tune in occasionally and, like a lot of the stuff he says, dislike a lot of the other stuff he says. But I'll think through it, like philosophically and intellectually. They're saying, well, he should, be in the clinker for 6 months or something like that. Like, notice how they perp walked him with handcuffs, but now he's out on his podcast every day. Like, this is all about construct of social division and control. Most of what you're seeing isn't real, is what I'm saying. You're just walking on the yellow brick road and finding out the guy who's in charge of everything on the microphone is just one dude. See, the question you should be asking yourself is who's behind the screenplay? Who's behind the microphone? So all of this is moving perfectly. They're really going to ramp things up. Again, I'm expecting chaos and social division in the United States, all engineered by design. And I think we're going to see more unrest like what we saw in recent years. We're going to see more social unrest. That's what they want. Again, the United States and its Western interests and allies helped fund that in the dissolution of the former USSR. We saw that there. Keep the people fighting each other as the country collapses, is sent into poverty. And this is what the world wants. Okay, China, which is in charge now with the BRICS nations, what would they like better than for the United States to systematically collapse socially? Well, of course, that's the plan. That's a part of the PSYOP. That's a part of the social conditioning. That's a part of the high-level operational propaganda that they've implemented. So all of this is going down now. It's all distractions. So to be honest, it just pisses me off because people should be more focused on finding the solutions to the problem. So I'm just telling you, stay focused. This is where my head is at. In fact, I even kind of removed myself yesterday. You'll notice I didn't produce a sermon. Honestly, I just needed to kind of be close with God myself. I work 6-7 days a week. I'm working around the clock. I manage 5 different companies that I own. For those of you that are not aware, I have other companies that are outside social media that I run, like the Jeep company and other companies. But I just kind of needed to sit back and honestly go to God and go to the Lord and just be one with Him for a day. And this is kind of the reflection that I'm now putting out to you, my audience, that I hope helps you. So, what's the goal of all this? I'm going to leave you guys on a positive note today. I want you guys to take action. A common theme that I see in the world today is a lot of division, a lot of social chaos, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of fear being propagated by the media. I would argue that the mainstream media are the biggest fear mongers on the planet, and so are your politicians. Just look at what they've done over the last couple of years. But a common theme that I see in America today is a lack of purpose and a lack of a common vision. No purpose and no vision. And people come up to me sometimes and like, Christopher, what's my purpose? Maybe you're going through a midlife crisis or a quarter life crisis, or maybe you're in the 4th quarter of your life. And you're like, what's my purpose? I'll tell you right now to your face, it's to serve God. That's your purpose. Your purpose is to glorify God. People will say, Christopher, what job should I get? I'm just out of college. Or I didn't go to college. What should I do? Do anything. Go pick any job that you want. And then they'll say, well, then what? Serve God. Glorify God. Okay, this is our job. Our job is to save souls. Our job is to glorify God. All my companies, Island Project, why did I start them? To glorify God. Island Project is a life raft. It's a solution, okay, during the wealth transfer and during the systematic economic, planned financial, social collapse of the United States. That's what it is. It's to glorify God, okay? Why did I start in social media 15, 16 years ago before everyone else? To glorify God and show light and truth to the world about how you were being screwed, how the whole system was rigged, how the too big to fail bailouts were criminal and they were unfair. And so I exposed them, just like what we've seen over the last couple of years. I could even up the ante even more. It's all about, like, to take your power back. Ladies and gentlemen, you've got to get out of this 2-party paradigm system. The whole system's broken. It's corrupted and it doesn't exist. And I would argue it never existed. Okay, most of what we've been sold and told Look at how our history was remanufactured and rewritten in the last couple of years. I lived through it, and I don't agree with the history that they're saying occurred. So you go back 50 or 100 years, think about it from that perspective. Is any of that truthful that you were reading about? It's probably parts of it are and parts of it aren't. So again, where's the truth? Where's the purpose? Where's the common vision? This is why Island Project is already so successful, as we're soon to tokenize, and we've been onboarding investors and members from all over the world in our club, and everything I've done with the BitcoinRich.com Academy is because it has common vision. It has common purpose. We all want the same thing. There's strength in numbers. We all want true freedom, and we're smart enough to realize we can solve our own problems. You don't need someone in control or power to solve your problems, ladies and gentlemen. If that was the case, the United States never would have disembarked and established the 13 colonies and declared itself free. They would still be under British Crown rule, which we could argue might even still be the case, or it's come full circle around. Just like the British Empire and its pound sterling collapsed, now the US is collapsing. It's collapsing in the Freedom Index, it's collapsing socially, it's collapsing with our elections. Everybody on right and the left are telling us that we can't trust what results come out from any of the votes. Again, that's part of the plan too. Create more chaos, create more division so that they can control you. So I want all of you to be successful. I want you to be joyful. I want you to find love in your life. I want you to be happy. I want you to be strong. I want you to get ahead. Okay, I want you to start those businesses. I want you to create cash flows. I want you to build communities. I want you to tokenize with us on the Island Project. And then I'm going to build this into a multi-billion-dollar project, God willing, and we're going to bring it to the world, and we're going to establish our own systems, which is what needs to be done right now. See, we're the solution, not the problem. We come from love, not from divisive politics and rhetoric. So, just be very careful right now and understand everything I've just said is the truth. Also, I'll follow up on my video, which is the warning that I gave. Absolutely, a nuke is going to go off soon, God forbid, but it is. And there's going to be some kind of tactical event somewhere in the world. And it's going to be in regards to Ukraine, and God forbid it could affect some part of Europe. Why is that going to happen? Do I think intercontinental ballistic missiles are going to be fired all over the world and end humanity? No, that's not the agenda. The agenda is create fear around that event for more control. To create the event so they can magnify it on the megaphone of the mainstream media to accomplish the same goals as they wanted if they had launched intercontinental ballistic missiles everywhere. So this is all a part of their fear narrative again, and this is what they want. And so China is basically at the helm of the new global supremacy. They're dominating and winning. Asia's in charge now. The US and our politicians sold us out. Let's just be honest. They've been doing it for decades. It didn't just happen. They're all bought off. They're all bought and paid for. They sold all the jobs and transferred all the wealth, and now China's kicking our ass. That's just the truth. That's not even an argument. That's what they did. Just like they're the ones responsible for the trillions of dollars worth of debt and all the bailouts. And they're the ones that kept rates at zero, which is now collapsing the United States, because it's the plan. Because the plan is to transfer you to a new system of digital currencies, CBDCs, which they had planned years ago. I knew that was the plan when I first bought Bitcoin under $1,000. I'm like, yeah, they're definitely resetting us to the new system. We don't need banks anymore. They're going to get rid of it. And I saw that with social media. I'm like, oh yeah, they say you have free speech. No, you don't. Let's test it out. And so I put out 5,000 videos, and now look where we are. A consolidated mess where people aren't allowed to speak. And Ye has to go out and buy a platform, like Parler, which I argue is just a project or ghetto somewhere because they don't want him on a real highway. So they're taking away his real freedom to actually speak, and they're pushing people off so that you can be basically called extreme. And then for those of you good people out there, probably watching and tuning in, all of you, okay, you can be labeled as the person that's extreme. That's what they want. They want Christianity to be associated with Ye, cussing, the targeting of certain groups, the things that we can't talk. They want it all. They want everyone that's middle of the road to be associated on the extremes of the political spectrum, to cause more division and more turmoil within the United States so that they can accomplish their goal. They laugh, dude. They're so good. They're winning. Honestly, they've been winning for years, and it pisses me off. You should be winning. We should be winning. You want to fight back? Click the link below and join Island Project. You want to improve your life? Click the link below and join Island Project. You want to get ahead? Click the link below and join Island Project. You want to be a part of the solution? Click the link below and join Island Project. You want 1000x? Click the link below and join Island Project. You want to make your first $1 million this year, possibly? Not financial advice? Click the link below, join Island Project. Create those cash flows. Build yourself up. Otherwise, all you're watching, okay, is entertainment and theater, and you're not going to get ahead. Let me ask you an honest question. How many of you are more ahead than you were if you compare yourself from 3 years ago? I bet a lot of you aren't. So if you haven't gotten ahead, if you're not leveling up and 1000xing, you're actually growing weaker. It shows you've been distracted by all these high-level operational psychological campaigns that they've been rolling out, which is the New Manhattan Project. That's what happened over the last couple of years. It's the New Manhattan Project, ladies and gentlemen. So anyways, I love you. This message comes from a place of love. I also encourage you guys to take action before it's too late. There's a lot of great things that we're working on right now. We're building just an incredible community. We're building incredible technologies. Our real estate fund out here in Maui is absolutely dominating. I'm soon to be deploying capital on multiple properties, and I want you guys to be a part of it. Take advantage of it. Where else could you 1000x? You guys have a better idea? You guys doing something cooler than what we're doing? I would say you're not. I would say you're not. And everyone that thinks that the central bank's just going to allow fiat to collapse, no, they're not. Your freedom and transfer you to the new CBD in advance to get ready, so you're diversified, so you're actually a part of the wealth transfer, and you're not getting pushed down and smashed down into the project's ghetto in the coming months. It's going to happen. This is why they had already organized pre-planned UBI even before all this stuff started 3 years ago. They're already ready for that. They're creating the problems to give the solutions to the agenda that they want. And they want a less free economy, a less free social discourse. They don't want all the things that we grew up with anymore. They want to get rid of it. They want to make it harder. And they want to label you and stereotype you and push you off like you're on the extreme when you're not. Like, again, there's nothing extreme about wanting freedom and hope and joy and love for all people, or wanting to be successful. That's not extreme at all. But that's why they amplify and megaphone these extreme characters as gatekeepers, so they can push you off into those groups, sequester you, and remove you from the conversation because they don't think you're smart. And as we see, a lot of the population goes along with that plan. And it's powerful. The propaganda is extremely powerful. We have to see it from that standpoint. Yes, the Watchman says this is getting very, very biblical. By the way, crypto is about to soar. I don't know if you guys people are like, Christopher, you still talking about Bitcoin? Absolutely. I've been double, tripling down my investments, dollar cost averaging, putting out more videos at school. I've got a few new videos in production. I'm extremely bullish. The whole cryptocurrency space. Right when you get to the point where people stop talking about it, that's when we go 10x, right? That's where some of these altcoins that I picked at school for you on your behalf go 100x. So trust the plan, guys. Everything, again, people laughed at me when I bought Bitcoin under 1,000. They laughed. They laughed at me when I started my social media channel 15, 16 years ago. I mean, look at it now. Multi-trillion-dollar industry. Crypto's a multi-trillion-dollar asset. All of big tech's getting into it. They trade it on the futures markets on Wall Street. There's tickers of Bitcoin and Ethereum and XRP on CNBC.com. Sovereign wealth funds are buying. Universities, institutions are buying. We're just early. Trust the freaking plan. This is all a reset into the new financial hierarchy, okay, and the subjugation of the 99% of humanity, and the wiping out of the westernized world and freedom as we once knew it. Sounds pretty bad, right? Well, the solution is we got to build new freedom. We got to build new systems. You've got to build the Island Project. We all got to do this together. And this is actually why I think God blessed me with a lot of wealth. And of course, a large audience and all these kinds of things, because I'm helping to spearhead it. I'm not the only guy doing it, but I'm a man of action who's actually building and finding solutions to solve the problems for the things that we actually want in life. Strong communities, foundational principles, based on the rock of God, strong families, strong relationships in the household, strong children, men and women working together, husbands and wives working together, small business communities working together, empowering all of us so that we can be free and we can have joy and we can have life and we can be strong and we can have spirit. And more importantly, something that honestly I've never struggled with. I'm so blessed. I have always had vision and purpose in my life. And this is actually what most people, I think, lack, which is kind of crazy because I think a lot of people have sold themselves out. They've given up on their purpose. They've given up on their truth. They've succumbed to the weaponization of psychological control in society. And they've given themselves over to the controllers and the rulers. And they've handed themselves to the king. And I refuse to do that. I mean, the king is Jesus Christ. And I know with him, he's all-powerful, omniscient, omnipresent, and we only win. So we have tremendous victory already. Like, why should we be in fear about anything? Why should we not stand our ground? Okay, and this is why always stand your ground. Never, ever, ever sacrifice what you know is the truth. Always go with God, always stand up for Jesus Christ, our King, and resist anything, anyone telling you to do different. And so, that I guess I'm just speaking my personal truth. That's just how I live my life. We have a lot of tremendous work ahead of us and a lot of, just great things and opportunities ahead. So I want you to see that as well. The opportunity for not just victory, it's right there, guys. The opportunity for you to live your best life in service to the Lord is right in front of you. The opportunity to become a part of something with common vision and common purpose and solve problems and find joy in your life is right in front of you. It's right in front of you, ladies and gentlemen. Click the link below. Join us at school. Join us at BitcoinRich.com. Join us at the Island Project. Join us at the club. Get in today. Schedule a call with me at the club. I'd love to speak with you guys. Get ready. Don't just be entertained by the latest podcast that's coming out. It's not going to solve any of your problems. We are entering the worst case scenario in the coming months. If you thought the last elections were bad, wait until you see what's coming. We're going to have social unrest. We're going to have capital controls. We're going to have food crisis. I could use different words, but I'll keep it family friendly. Everything's going to go haywire. Energy problems, world war, nukes. Biden warning about Armageddon. China is going to use force on Taiwan. They're definitely invading Taiwan. That's going to happen, and they're going to take it. And the U.S. ain't going to do anything. Just like Saudi Arabia is kicking the crap out of the U.S. right now, too. They're like, yeah, we don't need you. Oh, you thought we were an ally? No, we're not. We're China's ally. So this is all about the economic, financial, political, and social agenda to end the life that we all love as you know it. And this is a human problem, okay? It has nothing to do with the color of your skin or any of this kind. This is a spiritual battle, okay? This is something that Ye is right about. This is spiritual warfare. This is about your humanity. We know what they're going to do. These people are merging humans with machines and a transhuman agenda outside of God to live forever. So Elon Musk and his companies like Neuralink and the other ones that he owns can take microchips and merge human beings into the Borg, just like Star Trek. So they have absolute total power and control over all the lemmings that they've brainwashed. And so, Tesla's self-driving car feature can tell you where you can't go and whether or not you're allowed to talk. And even once they're in here, so stand your ground on this, don't allow it, say no, that's all you have to do. That's what everyone needs to do. Once they're inside your head, they're going to be stopping thoughts from even coming to your brain. They're going to implant the thoughts coming in. They'll implant the culture into your head. They'll implant the political viewpoint and even prevent your synapses from thinking a outside of the box critical opinion at that point. I mean, guys, it's going to get super bad. Like this is what they're building. You have no other option but to improve your life today. You have no other option but to take your power back in your own hands. You have no other option but to build the Island Project with us. There is no other solution. And the solution is Jesus Christ. But just like Noah had to build it and they will come. And just like David fought Goliath, just with the faith of a mustard seed and a couple pebbles in his pocket with his slingshot. You tuning in, as I always say, are the slingshot. You're the tidal wave of change. You're the tidal wave of freedom. You're the tidal wave of truth. And if these other people don't offer solution, and the only thing they're doing is helping to divide, that isn't the truth. That's the very definition of a psyop. And it's the very definition of a psychological operation. And it's the very definition of gatekeeping. If all they're promoting is division, that's how you know that they're not real. People that are of truth, light, hope, joy, and especially of God come from a place of love and unity. What is Island Project about? Unity. It's about building something cool, building something different, helping people grow, helping people create cash flows, helping people get outside of the system, build their own freedom networks, build communities of like minds, strength through numbers, focus and foundation on the things that are important in life. That's a solution. What are a lot of the political pundits pushing? Division, rhetoric, extreme viewpoints. What does it do again? What is Candace Owens' new film about the guy that tragically lost his life, with the knee on his neck? What does that serve and what does that do? It just creates more division. It creates more chaos. So no matter what you think about the story, did she provide a solution? No. And so, again, it's so easy to see this, guys. It's so easy to see this. You have to understand, too, the internet's not the Wild West anymore. It's all controlled. The whole thing is consolidated. There's like 4 people in charge of the entire internet now. That's why certain topics are off limits and you can't talk about them, because free speech doesn't exist. It never did. And this is what you need to understand. It's all an illusion. Everything's an illusion. The whole system's an illusion, and it's crumbling now. And that's why they're going to transition you to the new one. And it'll be another system of control. The only way to truly be free, all the great thought leaders aren't even around anymore. Like, again, if Jones is such a thorn in the heel of the establishment, why don't they just get rid of him? Notice they allow him to exist. They allow him to get bigger. They come out with these judgments so he's even more popular. Like, they're smart, guys. If they didn't want to do that, they would do the opposite. He wouldn't have a voice. There are so many thought leaders that were ahead of their time, and they're no longer with us. You understand? So, anyways, this is just all a part of the social conditioning process. It's the rotting and decay and destruction at the very core of everything that is pure and holy. And the world, it's a fallen place. That's what it is. Ye's wrong about that. God's not in charge of this world, dude. Satan owns this world. Where have you been? He's in charge of Hollywood, the music industry, reality TV. He's in charge of the banks. He's in charge of all this stuff in this world. Jesus is coming back. He's on his throne. He's coming with the sword out of his mouth, and he's coming to save all of us in his imminent return, in the return of Christ. Hallelujah. That's the truth. And in the meantime, what we do is follow him, stand our ground, build people up, find solutions, always maintain hope, have joy, don't divide people, and more importantly, come at this evil fallen world with love. That's what we're taught, to come at the world with love. And anybody that's just creating more social discourse of division and chaos is either not that smart or willfully a part of the groupthink dogma, intending to separate people. That's not good. God is love, guys. If there's one thing that God represents, it's love. So anyways, I love you guys. Links below. Last chance to get into Island Project. Make sure you subscribe. Get into the club, islandprojectclub.com. That includes our early bird roadmap to everything we're doing with the blockchain launch. Get in. It also includes, for the first 25 of you, a 15 to 30 minute private consult and conversation with me. You can ask me anything about getting out of the banks, what my top picks are, the 1000x opportunities that I'm looking at, what I'm doing with my own money, how to get ready, what I think about various asset classes. I'll go into more detail of things I can't discuss publicly. I'm only giving you guys 10%. We don't have free speech in this country anymore. So I'm only giving you 5% of my true knowledge. I could do so much more, guys. There's so much more that I know. We're not allowed to speak anymore because we've been right about everything we told you and warned you about over the last 15, 16 years. So at this point, This is why I built Island Project. I'm more focused on solutions in building the new systems than I am parroting the same stuff I've been right about. We've been right about everything. I've been telling you to get prepared for years. Now we're in World War III. Enjoy it. Have a good time. It's going to suck unless you do something about it. Unless you get your heart, your mind, your soul, and your spirit in the right place and you build these solutions. And also, too, where else can you 1000x? Where else could you put $1,000 today and become a millionaire? There's only one place, blockchain technology. So that's not the goal to life, but these are resources like they're building blocks, or it was the wood to build the ark, to build Noah's ark. You need infrastructure. This is what pisses me off too. There's a lack of infrastructure. No one's building infrastructure. Where's the competition to the mainstream media? It barely exists. Where's the competition outside the banks? It barely exists outside of the system. We've got to build the new system. You understand? We at least have to try. So go big on your life, be bold, find joy, go with the Lord, stand your ground, okay, and understand that the only truth is God is love. He's not division. He's not pushing people on both sides of this weaponized political environment. That's where they want you. And so in the coming months, I'll tell you what's going to happen. Civil unrest, political division, in my opinion, World War III. They're going to have some kind of tactical event that they're going to magnify with the megaphone to control people more. We'll still be here. Fiat currencies will be put in capital control structures. Going to collapse. Okay, you won't be able to move your money around. Inflation's going to continue to tick higher. Once people realize this, they're going to start panicking even further out of the dollar. And they're going to panic into what they've already set up, CBDCs. They're going to panic right into it, and that'll be just another system of control and power for them. And then after everyone's wiped out and the wealth transfer is completed and you've been distracted by this right-left paradigm illusion, which is total bullcrap, once you're destitute and have nothing left, okay, they're going to introduce UBI and the new party, and they're going to socialize everything. The rich will be more powerful and wealthy than they've ever been. They're going to continue to enjoy their 50 yachts, super yachts, their space yachts, all their flashy homes and cars and control over the entire infrastructure of this planet. And they're going to laugh in your face, and they're going to give you like $1,500 a month in UBI. And they're going to tell you, be happy, you own nothing, good luck to you. And then they're going to continue the rest of their plans, which were on the Georgia Guidestones, of course, that they demolished because they no longer need to warn about it. The whole plan's operational now, guys. So anyways, I mean, if you haven't been convinced yet after what happened over the last couple of years, there's probably, I'll pray for you, but there's probably no saving you, right? Like if you didn't wake up over the last couple of years, you're long gone in the cuckoo's nest. Cuckoo! You're out there. You know, if you didn't wake up to the fact, wait a minute, am I free? They're telling me I can't go anywhere and I'm not allowed to travel, and they're telling you you're not allowed to work? If that didn't wake you up, you're gone. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. You're not that smart. You're not that smart. So I'll pray for your soul. But, you know, I'm kind of being somewhat comical here, but I'm trying to get at you guys today and realize, what do you need to do? Take action. What was I doing yesterday? 200 push-up challenge. 200. I'm sore today, man, too. Then I went out for a 7-mile run in the heat. We actually got some fog right now. If you don't know what fog is, since that volcano is going off in Kilauea on the Big Island, it kind of creates this humidity vortex. It's been hotter. So I was on my run yesterday. I'm like, man, this is harder than normal. So anyways, by the way, that volcano's been active for years. It's pretty cool. If you go over to the Big Island, you can see all the lava flow when it erupts. It's pretty cool. And by the way, for all of you out there that say, oh, I wouldn't want to be in Hawaii, Hawaii's the safest place, dude. This was the safest place to be over the last 3 years. While the domestic continental U.S. was in chaos, outside of maybe like 2 states or 3 states, Florida, Arizona, and Texas, we were just chilling. No one was even here. This was paradise the whole time. Easy. The best place in the world. And this is what people don't understand too. The whole Pacific has already been consolidated into Asia. What do you not understand about this? Asia's already taken control of this new system, okay? There doesn't need to be a Pearl Harbor when they already own everything. You understand? thinking a lot further ahead than most people. They're still looking at it like 20 years ago. You guys don't see what's coming. Okay, I understood this truth a decade ago. So, the safest place to be is the further you go to Asia and you're pivoting towards Asia, that's the new world. That's why all the new super cities, where are they? Singapore, Dubai. The West is going down the tubes. Okay, so the sooner you understand that this is a consolidation of power, okay? And it's already occurred. It's already occurred. Everything you're watching now is just fanfare. It's the show. This is the moment where you're just, you're watching the epilogue or whatever it is, and you're just eating popcorn. Like, it's not even fun anymore. It's not even that entertaining. Everything that they've wanted to accomplish, they've already nailed it into the coffin. So it's not gonna happen. It already happened. The transition already occurred, guys. Okay? So that's not to be pessimistic. That's why I'm telling you, get on the offensive. People will say, well, Christopher, I don't have any money. Well, get on the offensive. Then learn something new. Create them. You want to start a business, start it. Don't wait. You got to play environment. You're like on the defensive, but I'm better than you. Okay, they've already got this planned out. They're just going to wipe everybody and they're going to move into the new system. So get on the offensive side of it. Links below. I want to see you there. You can pre-order. You can set your gauge on the club. 1,500, 2,000, 5,000, whatever it is. Click the link below, schedule a call, become an early bird, and also get into the private placement. You've got to be a member at school, bitcoinrich.com, the academy. That's a couple $100. Easy to get into that. That's another way just to learn all these tools. I'm going to be doing more content for bitcoinrich.com very soon. Secure your spot today. Links below.